Hello and welcome everybody. In this series, we're going to be going over some of the classical texts, books, writings from warriors and strategists of history. Some of the iconic, legendary names that you may be familiar with. Some of them you might not know, but we're going to get into their books and we'll discuss a little bit about what they are saying, how to apply it, see if we can get into some interesting ideas and conversations. Our first book today is going to be the Book of Five Rings, written by legendary Miyamoto Musashi. Book of Five Rings, there's many different versions out there that you can get. I have a link down below where you can get a copy of the Book of Five Rings if you want to go through this series together with me. You can do it as an ebook. You can order a book on, it's an Amazon link that you can order your book. All right, so I won't go through all the introductions and all the preface and stuff like that. We're going to go right into the course material. So Musashi breaks his book down into the 5 elements. That's where the Book of Five Rings comes from, right? The 5 rings are representative of the elements of earth, water, fire, air, and void. And we'll go bit by bit. And today, we're going over the Earth book. Now, we won't go through the entire chapter. I'm going to do a piece of it that I think is relevant in a single topic, present some ideas, discuss, and then I'll do a separate video and we'll go through that way bit by bit so we can go through the book together. So the Earth book, starting. It says, strategy is the art of the warrior. Commanders must utilize this art and fighters must be familiar with it. There is no fighter in the world today who understands the way of strategy completely. There are several ways. There's the way of deliverance, according to the law of Buddha. The way of Confucius, which directs the way of learning. The physician's way of healing. The way of a poet teaches waka. The way of tea ceremony, the way of archery, and many other skills and crafts. Each person specializes in his area of interest. They say that the warrior practices in 2 arenas, that of the pen and that of the sword, and that he must be proficient in both ways. Even if a man does not have an inborn ability to fight, he can become a warrior by consistently practicing each of these ways. Why is it? Why is it that the warrior is both the sword and the brush? Classical martial arts studies emphasize the way of the sword and the way of the brush. And there's a lot of speculation as to why or what that means. And of course, with the calligraphy, and they say there's the ability to write the characters, but that's very, very superficial. You see, when it comes to a warrior, when it comes to any way of dealing with either conflict or struggle or the need for strategy, we have 2 primary skills, 2 things, 2 arenas where we must become formidable, and that is physically and verbally. So physically, it enables you to address danger. If, as men, if you're in a situation and it's diplomacy and discussion that can lead to arguments and discord, that can lead into chaos and violence. And so if you have the ability to speak well, if what you have in the way of the brush is about words and communication, how to communicate effectively, how to communicate efficiently, how to use your words to be succinct and straight to the point, and to be able to be clear in your line of thinking and express it properly. In the physical side, this is the warriors, the martial arts, right? It's the same idea. We have to be able to be clear with what we're trying to do, cut to the chase, be effective and efficient, not flamboyant, not to be simply filling up space with noise. And so as Musashi is talking about this, the art of the pen and the art of the sword, this comes from an understanding that we have to be formidable, not just physically, not just in our ability to fight, because you're studying a warrior culture's practice, which is swordsmanship, any kind of martial art that you're studying. That is you becoming physically capable, and it takes discipline. The other one is verbal capacity to communicate. So I want you guys to think for a bit, what are you dedicating not only to your physical culture to be able to handle possible threats and danger? Is your family safe? Are your friends safe? When you are in a circle of people, are they safe because you are there? Can they rest easy because you are there? The warriors are the watchdog, the sheepdogs of the society. Now, when you speak, can you do it not only elegantly, not only with respect, because there's a difference between the classical warrior who knew that at any point, if it went to a high degree of chaos, lives were lost. So you wouldn't just throw things out there carelessly. That's why traditional martial arts is so heavy with respect, because it understood the consequences, right? And if you carry that into your speech, you see in our modern day, so many people are so quick to say things because they are brought up to think that there's no consequence. But if you lived in a world and you say things to people who are, consequences don't matter, they will guide themselves by the need to uphold this sense of respect and honor. That was a big part of their culture in the day. So reflect on that a little bit.